This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. We'll begin with flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody to the July 10th Marion County Commission meeting. We'll begin with a public forum. There's no one in the room. If there's someone online, unmute your mic.
I don't believe we have anyone online for public comment.
All right, we'll move into agenda. Any additions or changes to the agenda from commission? I know under Brad, we will have an executive session on contract negotiations, and there may be others. We'll see. I want to make sure I get that on. Otherwise, we're ready for administrative business. Tina.
Okay. I have the minutes of July 3rd.
Okay, commission has had a chance to review the minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay,
Might be late for public comment.
Is there a second? Second. by
So
Commissioner
come
Becker.
later, I guess.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Huh?
Later.
Public forum's over.
Wow. It's only 32:31.
I guess we should just
So you-
take 5 minutes of silence then.
So you won't.
No. Okay, next item, Tina.
That sounds about right.
Thank you. What's next?
I'll be on time.
We have 20 minutes.
Okay. I do have a couple of salary sheets.
All right, in the ambulance department, Timothy Vogel, rehire as part-time AEMT, $16.92 an hour.
That's about right, huh?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. That means rehire.
Yep. And dispatch, change from part-time to full-time dispatcher, no change in wage. That's Anastasia Brandt, $18.67 an hour.
So we currently have a vacancy in the office of Fairplay Township Clerk. We do have an individual that is willing to serve, and so would request appointment of Mark Curry as the Fairplay Township Clerk.
Any questions from commission? If not, is there a motion to appoint Mark Curry as Fairplay Township Clerk? Motion by Commissioner Donkey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Any other questions or discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Glad somebody volunteered.
Yes.
Okay, the only other thing that I have are, you had asked for a
Yes.
budget allocation information, and so that's what you have. This is just for informational purposes of what you may want to include in the budget. So the top one, Kansas Legal Services, their current request is 5,000. Their last year's funding was 4,500, and I already put the 5,000 to include in the budget because you took action to approve that. Families and Communities Together, FACT. Typically we have funded at 6,000. That used to be a line in the health department budget, and then Deidre at the time did not want to continue to fund that because she felt like there was duplication of services. The commission at that time did continue to fund it out of sales tax in the amount of 6,000 a year. Marion County Food Bank, 6,000 a year for utilities. That's been an ongoing one. Harvey Marion County CDDO, their current request is 70,000, which is the same as current year funding. That's an allocation out of the general fund typically, and then they did mention that if the board chose to increase the allocation, that the additional amount would go toward project search. Prairie View has requested 97,232. Their 2023 funding was 95,325, and that was actually an increase over the previous year as well. The Marion County Fair Association, we have put an allocation in of 16,700 for the past multiple years, and they don't typically come in and make a specific request, but unless they have a special project, and then the board has typically worked with them to fund some of those projects. Conservation District submitted a request equal to last year's funding, and then Marion County Core Community had requested 50,000 or any amount. And so that is a new request for 2024. Some other past allocations that we are not funding at this time are Safe Hope, which I believe we funded around 2,000 or 2,500 for a few years. And then the Restoration Center, which was that counseling center. And you funded that, I believe, one time out of sales tax, and that was somewhere between 10 and 12,000. We had also paid out any remaining old special alcohol monies to them during one budget cycle, and I don't believe they are here anymore. So anyway, I know that Circles in the past had come and requested funding, but I don't remember if it was an official request or just talking about their program, and that was not funded by the board at that time.
I think Circles is included in core community.
Well,
Yes.
that's, Circles is the old version.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
that was just for historical information.
Okay. Appreciate it.
So, okay, that way you'll be able to kind of determine what you want to put in the budget potentially, and it's not necessarily approving the payout at this point, but just what's a budget.
Randy, do you know how much Harvey County pays CDDO?
Yeah, 100, I'd have to look, it was 100.
Based on population?
No, they've always been 30 to 40,000 more than that. I guess, because it goes clear back to Northview and all of that before CDDO, they've always, we just switched, we were just told when I started that it was our donation to the original, before CDDO was Northview. And I was always told it was just for transportation at that time. Well, then when that all went down, we just switched the same amount from Northview over to CDDO. But they've always, but the new Harvey County is 30, 40,000 higher than we had all the time.
So on CDDO, would you like to stay the same, or would you like to go up?
If anything, the most I would go would be 10 for search, project search. On top of this, that would be dedicated, because after, I said something here the other day after I went and attended the last meeting, that some of the money that they had extra was going to project search over there, so.
But they are funding project search
Yes.
out of the, what we
Right,
have budgeted.
yeah, right, yeah.
And you don't have to make decisions today. You may want to wait to see what Scott brings back as far as
Right.
where we are with levies and things like that before we
But
decide.
I guess my highest recommendation to this council commission would be 10,000 dedicated, like it says there, strictly to project search, and the 70,000. So That would be my highest recommendation.
The commission wanting to take action on.
Daycare.
Excellent.
Chris is making some inroads at WSU, which I think would be good for Marion County in the future. Made some good contacts.
That's good. So, just like finding out more about the WIC program,
Yeah.
all of these things help our citizens and help serve our community.
And I expect to see, I mean, if I were estimating or hypothesizing, I think that there'll be even more growth. When we figure that, they give us a set number of months to figure your participation levels. But we noticed even with our last month, we had higher participation levels than we did the prior month that wasn't figured in to these.
More kids.
So,
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
thank
Krista.
you very much.
Busy quarter, so.
Train them up.
Yeah, then we keep.
Yeah. That's
All
about
right, welcome.
Why is your mic on the floor? They just get tired of hearing you.
Is it on the floor?
Yeah.
Try to keep it
Maybe
quiet.
not. I just had enough.
I guess he hasn't had anything important to say yet.
You can hear me when I want to say
You
something.
got him all excited.
Yeah, he's thumping his foot. Go ahead, Jim.
I didn't even see it up there earlier.
I didn't even. Well, now that we got heat, hot weather coming.
Yes.
Let's talk about air conditioning.
Don't need it.
I kinda give you guys a heads up when we did our budget hearing, that I had one unit causing us problems. During the month of June, we put 49 units of Freon in this.
Mm.
So, we've been out 3 times and 15 to 17 units every time. So,
You only pass one
if
unit.
you can, this is a quote from KVK for 1 unit. And I told you guys we were looking around 20,000. He's got it quoted at 22,000. You know, they got to bring a crane in and everything else to do the units. So, just giving you kind of a heads up. I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and pull the trigger and get one done. You know, it's gonna put a pretty good hit in my budget. You know, taking 23,000 out for that I had budgeted in for it. So I didn't know if there was, you know, any infrastructure funds with the HARP left or anything like that that maybe could help a little bit, but I just want to give you guys, and also got a double freezer in my, back in the jail. That's been giving me some problems. I'm looking at about $1,000 for a fix on it, so.
Does this unit have to be purchased through, it's not something we can bid on?
That's up to you guys. I mean, we're contracted with KVK, so, I mean, we want.
It basically takes care of all the air.
Well, that's
conditioners.
that was my question,
So-
you know, because otherwise we need to bid it.
Fleming's didn't do this kind of work.
Yeah, they do, but I think they're so backed up.
I know every time I've talked to Flemings in the past, have them come over even to do some, you know,
Yeah.
basic light plumbing stuff. Yeah, it'll be 3 weeks to a month out, you know, even on the plumbing side.
Yeah, we got the same problem.
Right, you know,
They
so.
tell us to call Newton.
Yeah, pretty much right now, you ask them for a bid on most things, there's people that are saying, just come do it. Those people are moving to the top of the list.
So I know, you know, KVK, we've had contract with them for many years. They've done us I feel like a really good job. So anytime I have an issue, they're generally down within a day or two, so,
They're good people.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, that's, you got someone that's good, you want to keep.
yes, exactly.
Well, we just had air conditioner issue here, and that one morning, Tina already had it. By the time we had commission, the air conditioner was already working.
Yeah. And what's the value of that?
Right.
It broke again that day.
Well,
But it was fixed again that day.
Get rid of it, let's get rid of it then.
Yeah.
It was fixed again that
There
day.
is-
It was because of the power surges that were happening, that's what was.
That does not help.
There is one that needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
And there's one over there that needs to be replaced.
So is this something, you know, we need to take action to improve?
I would think so.
Okay.
And how are we gonna fund it?
Well, there's, the options would be,
Well, I mean, multi-purpose building fund, which is in the general fund, that's where we would typically take a line item like this. That's, right Randy's building, right?
I called him, didn't I?
He did.
Sure you don't want the
There's-
windows?
Ooh, just replace all the air
There's
conditioners.
$793 or something like that in the old jail, the jail sales tax fund that we used to build the building, so we could use the
How
rest
much?
of that, like 700.
Just to clear the account out.
Spend that much
I
on
thought we'd
Freon.
already cleared that up.
We might have, but see, it seems like we keep getting some
Well,
residuals
either,
in there. So
either use
I'll
it
have to
there
look
or
at
use
it.
it on.
Because I said, I knew the
fridge.
cameras,
freezer, yeah.
I knew the cameras, we thought we kind of cleared it out.
If there's anything left in there, I'd have to
Okay.
double check to see the exact amount, because I'm just,
It is, whatever it is, clear it out and rob the rest of the people. Okay, is that
Well, we just
agreeable to
took
use
that
that?
50,000 for general ops too.
Is there a motion to approve the request for the air conditioning
So
unit?
moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gary to approve that.
Actually, probably need to give it a little bit more. Says no electrical work is included, so.
But yet again, if you read up above the cost, it says, you know, everything that's materials and labor to complete it. So I would think that there probably wouldn't be a lot of electrical that they'd have to do.
Should be just a
Should be just an
Swap.
unhook, yeah, an unhook and hook, so.
the one thing on here that you might notice is that bolded and underlined statement there that they would have to hook it up, that somebody is gonna have to hook that up to the fire suppression or fires. That would be KVK, that would be
Middle line
another
there.
vendor, I
Yeah, I
believe.
see that now.
So,
I don't think this is an ending problem.
Right.
I think this facility, not that we planned ahead on this, but this facility needs some sort of fund to take care of this kind of stuff. Or they come in and they ask what we're doing. What if we don't have that fund? Then we'll think about it.
It's like
I
vehicles.
think a line item budget needs to be, for that big building over there, if they've got this kind of problem, this is what one unit's gonna cost. We better get our panties in gear and put something together here for this next year's budget, so that, that's just my opinion. I don't know
I'm
what
gonna
else.
ask,
How old are those units now?
as old as the building.
Over 12, you know, figure, we moved in 2012, so, you know, 11,
That's all the longer they last now.
Yeah,
11, 12 years is.
They can, some can last longer, but
some less.
there's been a lot of upgrades too, to
Mhm.
the Freon that you're using and
Right.
improves your efficiency, and there's a lot of things that are changing too, so.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we need building.
So it's an
maintenance fund over
unfunded
there or
mandate,
something.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Tina, what is our current process for building repairs, not only the courthouse, we've got other buildings.
We've
Is it all
been-
under one, or is it under, each unit is separate?
we've just been, any kind of bigger project, we've been, if there isn't a specific fund set up, and see, sheriff and jail are both in the general fund.
Right.
So we've been taking it out of that multipurpose building line item that is in the general fund.
But you would prefer we have a separate one?
I'm just asking everybody what they think.
I'm asking too.
I think-
It's like replacing vehicles, you know.
We put the parentheses in the budget.
This probably ought to be $20,000 a year in the kitty.
Well, let's
For the future.
examine that on Friday, for today, let's
Yes,
take
and
action.
that's not enough.
Yeah,
But I agree, that's a very good.
Fine, I think, don't let it die.
Remind us on Friday.
So we're funding the courthouse maintenance similar, still a general fund expenditure.
Yeah, it's all under one big item, but I think you're gonna see, I don't know what the rest of them's doing over there or anything like that, I'm just saying.
I'm going with this, is the only one we
Yeah.
have.
The problem you run into, because we're all in the general fund, is if you designate a line item under the jail, within the general fund, it's really hard to, all that money is lumped. In reality, it's all lumped. And so having it's easier, like in Road and Bridge, where you have, if you wanna save, you've got the cash and the budget that you can carry forward. It's not the same way in the general fund. So designating it to one line item and one department in the general fund, I mean, it's all well and good, but it's not as as easy as all that, and you're not going to necessarily see it there because your cash balance is just tracked as a whole.
But
So,
only thing I would not want to see is at the end of the year, the sheriff looks at his total money and he says, I'd like something out of this, and
Right.
take that 20,000 that I have, just like what Dave said, 20,000, and go spend it.
right, that's another,
'Cause it might-
right, because
maybe the
it's
budget-
within their budget authority of the department if you put it there.
Right, that's where it comes into some things that, oh, I got extra money in here. Well, that's not the idea. The 20,000 stays there over here for maintenance and
Repairs.
repairs.
So
That's
they
what
give
I'd
you
like
a
to see.
roof.
Right.
That's,
So
one of the
not hurting
things-
you, Jeff.
one
I'm
of
just
the-
No,
just trying to kick you in the rear.
I totally agree, I absolutely
Well,
agree with you.
well,
One of the things that Scott talked about was just, taking a certain amount and setting up a capital
Outlay.
There you
improvement
go.
plan that would be more for building kind of expenses,
Right.
not similar to what we have with
Right.
roads, but you could then, within that fund, like you could fund it through transfers. Within that fund, you
Fine.
could have designated line items of building, which building it is, the
Okay.
parentheses of how much you think you need in there for the maintenance, and then you could track it a lot easier within a separate fund. And so maybe something to talk with him more about on
However we can
Friday,
accomplish it, yes.
because you have to have a certain statutory authority to be able to make those transfers and to set that
Right.
up, so.
Okay, we're gonna bring it back to the motion that's on the table from Commissioner Goering to approve the quote from KVK for air conditioning unit at the jail, $22,900.
I'll say.
Second by Commissioner Dahlke. Other questions? We had most of the discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
And are we gonna pay it out of the, multipurpose building loan?
Clean out
Yes.
the first one. and
Jail, sales tax, if we have any, and then multipurpose.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I hear nobody yelling, so I'm saying that's consensus.
Well,
For clarity.
I called it.
Jeff did call it when we were talking about this last week.
When
He
Randy.
said Fort Randy. He said, I can see it coming out of that.
I told him, I said, he needs to get that building built before it gets over.
When Randy speaks, he always talks about the position and not the people. So
Yeah.
Don't take it to heart.
No,
Because if it changes, we want to still hold those.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll go
Right.
ahead and
Right.
sign the
No, I
acceptance.
totally agree with that.
Commissioner Mueller.
Yes.
And then there's a note.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't want to be sitting here 10 years later and looking at equipment either. I mean, I really wanted 15 to 20, but
Yeah,
may not get it.
yeah, yeah.
And talking about it during budget process is really good, because, I mean, that budget process is a planning process.
Well,
and that's
we
what
talked
should
about
be
it,
doing.
budget, about, maybe scheduling 2 a year, to get through, but like I said, I got cameras I need to finish replacing. I'd like to get my controls for my doors with Fort PC as well, so that way I'm working with the same company. And right now, I'm working with a company out of Alabama and one out of Augusta.
So what kind of roof do you have on that building?
It's a 30-year roof. I don't remember that for sure. I've got all that
We've
paperwork.
got 20 more to go.
So we got, 18,
Well, it
19.
depends on how many times you get up there to change air conditioners.
Right, right, yeah,
You're running around on it all the time.
right.
What would be nice is if it was budgeted, on the 20,000, like if we put it in a forward budget, and then hopefully maybe next year we're not using it, then you can roll in another year, now you're setting up
Cash flow.
40K.
Right, that's the whole idea,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
trying to do.
And then next thing you know, if one goes out and you have it, you just replace them as you need them and not just go 2 a year as you need them.
Yeah.
What have you spent, do you think, in just doctoring this one so far?
I have not got a bill yet
Okay.
from them. Like I said, we put
How
49 units in it just in the month of June.
big is this unit compared, are they all the same? Because usually.
They're all the same except for one. There's one single unit that does just our tech room.
Yeah.
With all of our stuff in it for dispatching to jail. And that's a smaller unit.
Yeah.
That's all that unit is just that one room.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them are pretty much all the same size, so.
So 23,000 next year, 24,000 the following year,
Yeah.
5,000 the next year.
Like the two, like with the fire protection, the ones over the jail would be the ones that have that. So there's 3 units there, would have to do the smoke control system in it. The rest of the building's not hooked into that, so.
But the thing to think about, we kind of every year doing one, really, if you can get by 2 years or 3 years, you need to get by, so that way, kinda like buying these darn cars out here, you buy them all at one time, and now you gotta replace them all at one time.
Yeah.
If we get them spread out, you may be placing one every 5 to 10 years instead of one every other year. But, all right, thank you very much.
Yep, take care. Okay, we have a note from Steve, he's running late. And Brad's not here yet.
I don't think Steve knew he was on the agenda.
Oh. Okay.
So,
Do you understand we have an application for road and bridge?
yeah, do you want to have an executive session to
Could we
review?
do that?
Sure. So you would do for the purpose of reviewing an employment application, and it's under personnel.
Okay. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss an application for a road and bridge position pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel, with the commission and Tina for 10 minutes. Let's go from 1:17 to 1:27.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We'll be back at 1:27.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session. No actions taken. Hello, Steve.
Hello,
Welcome.
thank you.
All right, so we got fuel bids.
Yes,
Recommendation to go with the low bid.
yes.
I'll take the recommendation into a motion.
Okay, and it is
Yes.
EPS. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Gehring to accept the bid from EPS for transport fuel bid, the total amount of $23,125.45. Second by Commissioner Becker. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 5-0. Very good. What's exciting going on out in the field?
As of right now, we're just blade patching primarily, and then we do have, how do they call it, a seep hole, if you want to call it, it's over there out of Falcon, and we'll be addressing that tomorrow. We're just going to be, in the future, we're going to have to replace that whole structure, but for now, we're just going to try to keep it safe and fill it in.
Is that a box culvert or is that a?
It's a bridge.
It is a little
Yeah.
mini bridge.
Yeah.
It's not technically a bridge because the span isn't long enough, I
No,
don't think,
right.
but.
You say it has a seat hole.
Yeah, the bridge abutment, the underneath structure has washed out, so every time it rains, it just keeps eating away, and it just seeps in and just loses it at the bottom and goes on down the creek, so anyway,
Got some river rock building up.
yeah. But blade patching, we're on Remington, Pilsen Road right now, and we will be finishing up probably on Thursday, and then we'll be moving to Sunflower.
Good.
We're trying to keep ahead of the microsurfacing crew, who's gonna be in, supposedly starting in August 1st.
Okay, that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I really don't have much else to say at this point. Unless you guys got
I
questions.
don't know, I'm gonna ask Steve and whether he knows anything, in fact, maybe Tina knows. Sharon probably, I guess, maybe she knows. We've had no contact as far as commission, maybe Dave has, I don't know, with wind farms, but we're supposed to be getting something on Sunflower South there. Do you know what all's gonna happen with the wind farm and what they're doing and what we're doing?
My understanding at this point in time is they're gonna start on that on Friday on Sunflower. Yes. Yeah, from what I understand, they're gonna do they're gonna mill out the existing surface that's there now and replace it with hot mix.
Okay.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen on Friday, and I think it's the Pearson or Parsons.
Pearson.
Pearson's.
That's what Sharon told me.
Right.
Okay. Not me, that's,
Old
okay.
tornado.
They just doing that stretch from 50.
110 south, is that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's what she said.
Yes,
110.
110's worth,
Good.
and then north of 150th, just over a ways. There's like 6 or 7 patches.
More than 150, okay.
Just over either 2 or 3 inch.
Laying down.
Yeah.
something like that.
Next question is, and intended to bring some, Steve. I didn't get to see, maybe Jonah, maybe some of you Hillsborough guys got to see the material that went into this, what do you call it? The new blacktop we're doing?
All the
Microsurfacing.
the
Did you get
harder-
to see the rock and stuff?
I didn't get to see, I mean, I seen it from afar, but I didn't see
Okay,
it.
well, I went up to it last night. They're trucking it into Peabody right now. And anyway, I went over and picked it up. I was gonna bring you all this jar of it to see it, so it is very fine chat with, to me, it's got a lot of dust and dirt in it. I don't know, I just don't know whether you saw last year's or not, Steve, whether this is comparable or to it or not.
It's the same
Same stuff, okay.
Like screenings?
It's a harder-
No, it's chippy. It's chippy. It's got the harder rock in it. It's a hard chip.
stuff?
It's hard stuff in there, little hard chips. But it just seemed like, and I don't know what that gray stuff is. Whether it's the whenever you combine it, mill it, it's going to have some no matter what, right?
It's a real high strength binding agent.
Oh, okay. Maybe they put some of that in there then.
Yes,
Okay.
they mix it all in there.
Okay.
Yeah, they just don't lay the fines down, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And then put stuff on top of it. They're all mixing that together.
In the
before-
oil.
Yeah, before
Okay.
they push
The
it out.
chemical reaction doesn't happen until they start mixing.
Okay, I'll bring some in just so you can see it. 'Cause
Well, I don't know, you're supposed to.
I don't think you're supposed to.
I think we had all that stuff permitted to sit in certain places because of regs, and
Right.
we're not supposed to. It comes from a certain part of the state where it's, until it's encapsulated, it's not considered safe.
Correct.
We can drive.
So we're gonna have to watch Randy to see if
Yeah.
he starts.
See,
throwing
start
it.
Randy.
Yeah, since he's already told
We
me.
out there with the shovel turning it.
We got-
Well, I
Don't
took
look
it-
at it.
Playing
Yeah, well, I thought it was Santa Paul, dang it.
Your wife says you start glowing. You better-
Yeah.
Better check
But
it out.
anyway, it's different looking stuff, so that's, okay, great. Now, one thing, Peabody Street that we're hauling in, once you turn off of Main Street and turn towards us, it was not good when they started doing that, but last year we hauled in the chip and seal stuff. And over a 2-year period, that block has taken some beating. Right where we turn into our shop and stuff, it's got a pretty big hole and stuff like that. I don't know, Steve, do we have a patch crew, or we don't have a patch crew? I'm just asking, maybe we ought to do something, I don't know, I'm thinking.
Well, I know we've done things for, like Lost Springs, when we came through Lost Springs, the side street going up to the old school, we did a little patch job there,
Yeah.
about the same distance.
Same distance, not block, half block to a block is what it is, 3/4
I
block.
mean, that's something we could look at as far as doing, that little
Yeah.
stretch there, because it is bad. I know the people that work at the Peabody shop who want it fixed, because they're tired of bouncing over it too,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and all of our equipment going in, the heavy equipment going in and out there, I just, really the shop location probably, if the street was ever rebuilt, it would be different, but it hasn't had nothing done since about the last time I sent the county boys down and asked the commission to send them down to do that, so, to patch some over this too, so. I'm just alerting us that that's what we're facing down there and seeing. is
We
what
don't
it is.
have a patching person anymore.
No, the guy that goes out and just hand patches all the time, no.
We used to always have somebody hand patching.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
so-
it's helpful.
So the one good thing is we're getting kind of caught up on these roads and we actually don't need a full-time patch crew, which is a good thing.
Good thing.
So,
But anyway, that's something else down there that I see is happening. I want to recognize it. I'm not saying that the street was up to date when we started this, but yeah, we're not contributing, we're not helping the situation. We're contributing to holes.
I don't know, is that something you guys need to take an action on, to get permission to do that, or do we have to talk with the city of Peabody?
I
or-
would talk to the city of Peabody and see if they would allow us to, if the commission would.
If you see that the city would allow us to, then we'd probably take it up.
Okay. Do that. Yeah, I don't wanna, I think relationships if we're gonna keep hauling in there.
Who's gonna check with the city? Okay.
I will.
I had a question, Steve. Do you have that map that Bryce had when we rocked those, certain roads with hard rock? He had a map with all of them that were marked, that were rocked with the hard rock.
The first 2 miles of Falcon there, south of 56.
And I think Diamond
Well, we
going,
did in several of them around the county.
Well, Diamond didn't get the hard rock.
I had a
He got
comment.
rebuilt.
I had a comment from one of the blade guys that, you know, some of that's 3 years. 290th west of me, just now, it needs something, and at least in his words, they'd like the ones that were originally hard rock, if we could keep them hard rock.
I don't see that would be a problem, other than I would like to change the hard rock that we're getting right now.
Well, that would be up to you, but,
I would like to
you know,
have-
if we could keep the ones that were originally hard rocked and then maybe gradually add to it.
Well, yeah, and, yeah, whatever, if you could change to find a better product,
Right.
harder rock, that's
I
great.
would like
but-
to, gray rock especially, I like to have more, I would say, cleaner rock than the fines, because, guys, we've already got the fines there laying on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so there's no sense of adding more to it and creating more of the slime, even though you still need a binding agent, but that binding agent's already there.
It's already there.
But I would say those roads now all need to be re-rocked. It's been 3 years.
Well, the one on Falcon, have them go out and look at it, just to see. And it's right, if we add more hard rock to it, it's never gonna bind in there, because that hard rock is there. I mean, it's capped. So all you're gonna do is throw that stuff off the side.
Right.
So you wind up using sand or something else.
Right.
Once you get that base established with that hard rock, you
Well, 290th is broke through in certain places that it always had before. But that 3 years, it held.
Right.
Those places did not break through. Now.
No, I don't, my understanding though, we didn't do anything on 290 as far as rebuilding
No.
and
No, we
so
just rocked
that,
it.
you know, we need, everybody knows about the crown and so forth like that, so if we still have a flat road and we put more gray rock on it, it really isn't gonna accomplish anything, because that water is not gonna shed off that road as well as it should be. And this snare is just gonna grind,
Yep.
you know, so that's my opinion on it, so. But I think that, yeah,
I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
It's just I thought, you know, if we could keep those ones that hard rock, and then continually add.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because what you said, it wasn't rebuilt, it's going on 3 years, it'll be 4. Even if it costs you double, if you go 4 years, it actually costs you half, because you're white rocking it every year.
I'll stop by and.
So if you go
But
gray
you gotta
rock,
go
it
down to
gets you
front
4
end.
years, and it costs you double. You
You're
take,
still way ahead.
yeah, because after year 2, you broke even.
It's a more
Year
costly.
3, you're saving money, year 4, you're saving money.
If you can get it on roads that will drain, they'll
Save the
stay.
labor.
And saving labor and maintenance.
Across there to 1946 Indian motor
Okay,
vehicle.
anything else?
But anyhow,
Have you
we'll do something.
talked to Harson's?
I haven't, not me personally.
Okay. As of 2 months ago, that was when I was hauling, I told you guys that there was a heck of a rock pile down there, that it was the gray Ottawa rock. And I think that's what you're wanting, Steve, I think. I don't know if we've been getting out of there or not.
We haven't gotten a whole bunch out of there. We did haul some gray rock that mainly came out of the south shop, was the same
South,
lot.
okay.
We had a stockpile there at the south shop, and that's, the gray rock's what we use in those patches up north or south of Ramona.
But is that some with the findings? and
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah, you get a little moisture to it, it works really good for like rock patches.
Yes, okay. I would suggest, maybe you find out, I just heard from the clerk what that was supposed to be county rock down there, and it was Ottawa rock. It was the good stuff, it wasn't what this patching and stuff that come out that we stopped and did the things with. But find out if that's for Marion County. I asked if it was paid for. If not,
I can call Sam.
yeah, just talk directly to them, find out if that's what you're, and go look at it, Steve, see if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But there was a heck of a pile there.
Well, if it's something that we've already purchased, I guess we're kind of locked into it now. And
I don't know that it is. This was the clerk's.
Right.
We never bought any
This was just
ahead
the
of
girl
time.
that sits at the desk.
Yeah.
And so that's, I
The only
don't,
time we bought it ahead of time was when we stockpiled it ourselves, and then that turned into a nightmare because everybody wondered why it was in a stockpile out on their road.
Because I think they bring it in, that's for us to buy.
yeah,
Right.
and I think that's the way,
We
I think
we
it
haven't
is.
bought it
So,
yet.
I know, like at the first year, Sam did contact Bryce, and he asked Bryce how much material we wanted for the year.
Yeah.
And I think he gave Sam that quote for how much, so I don't know how much of that is still there that is ours. If it is, I'll find out.
Well, they wouldn't let Randy have none, so.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
Really?
Apparently it's standing there waiting for us.
yeah. The next thing that we was gonna do, it was on, that's what Bryce took the little ditch, or skid steer down and chewed the trees up, cleaned, there was gonna be a sewer line go across Prairie Lawn Street, Old Mill, from the Dollar General down there to that house on the east side of the road. There was gonna be that, was gonna have a sewer line tear up the road, and they was gonna do that in a water line. That's all been canceled. They're not gonna do it. It's done, over with, passed on. We give the resolution for them to do it, put in a camper spot, it's all gone. They've stopped that. So they went down, the KP&L cleaned the poles up. They did a whole bunch of work to, I think we only have one wire crossing on that whole road now, for street light, I believe now. And I'm just wondering, that would be a super road, because the traffic since in the last 4 years on that road has tripled, doubled, titled quite a bit. And if we was to build that quarter mile, which is a little over 3 blocks maybe, something like that, we usually just go down around to that bridge and stop right at the bridge when you go past that bridge, going on in.
Because it's on the other side of city limits then?
Yeah, just around, yeah, just that little, it's only about 100 feet to that
Where do
bridge,
people go?
150. Huh?
Where are they going?
They're coming from the city out to Dollar General.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it's just all the traffic on the east side of town.
by Dollar Tree, Dollar General.
Yeah, they go
And your
to
place.
Dollar General, go out to that
Yeah.
way,
On that rock road?
on that rock road, yes.
Yeah,
So-
it goes past the lift station.
Yes, goes around the lift station and around there, and
So is that a city or a county?
it's county has maintained it for the last, but it should be a 50-50.
Yeah, it's a 50. At least the north-south is a 50-50 because
Yeah, it should.
it's the same that the
Right.
way with the hoop building over there
Yeah.
at Hillsborough. It's
Yeah. Same thing, same deal. And so, and what I'm saying though, if we was gonna rebuild it, I would think that it would be, before we do anything on the way it is right now, it's, because once it rains, it's a fish mess. And I would think that we would wanna pull shoulders or do something to it. Put it on our agenda. I thought, Bryce told us he was on the agenda, but, that's all. He was gonna wait till after that sewer water line went across that road, which was thinking, I mean, we no use doing it then, but that's why all the trees and power lines have all been cleaned, is to rebuild that. If there's some extra cost there for us to rebuild it, why, then I would need to know that so I can relay that to the city too, so.
Okay.
But take a look at that while you're down there.
Put it on the wish list.
No, it's a need to. It's not a wish list, it's a need to. I mean, it's, city traffic has told me that that's the way they're gonna travel to go there.
All right, anything else for Steve? I'll let you get back to work.
All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for all you do too. Very nice. Every time I got an issue, it's like everything's done.
Yeah, we don't like to keep them stewing, because then they just get madder and madder. All right, we'll see you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
take care.
Brad said he left a message.
Message.
He said he's still coming.
Text message.
You only did my mile. Hey, I got a bunch
See how long he's out.
Supposed to tell him.
11 minutes ago, I had a message that he called me, he was on his way, but I didn't see it because.
Okay, I asked him. Do you have any updates you can give us in the meantime? Update on the new ambulance?
It is here.
It is here?
Went
Awesome.
and got it Friday. It's all on the insurance and stuff. Just got to get tags for it, and radio will be installed the beginning of next week, and it's set for state inspection on Wednesday.
Nice.
So hopefully, beginning of next week, it'll be in service.
That's great news.
I figure next Monday we'll bring it down for you guys to look at.
Hopefully none of us have to ride in the back.
Preferably not.
Check out the gurney.
Hey, you'll be glad you had it.
That's
If you
right.
didn't
If you need it.
If you need it, you'd be
That's-
glad you had it.
That's exactly right.
That's kind of like what I had explained to me one day when the guys were all waiting for a call, basically, stand by. And somebody approached me, well, would you rather have them out picking you up or have them ready to pick you up? I'd definitely have them ready to pick me up.
So recent.
Kind of a double-edged sword. If we're not out doing stuff, we ain't making money, but if we're...
Yeah, you still need to be busy.
Yeah.
You know, just not, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good for you, they say.
It's call service, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I used to.
A
do
ready
the
to
other
go
day.
service.
Take 5.
Yep, let's take a 5-minute recess. It is 1:48. We'll be back at 1:53.
Will now be recorded.
He just left new.
Why you pointing at me?
What are we doing?
You're, whatever you
Waiting
want
for
to
the
start.
Brian.
All right, we are.
You got the timer?
I heard other people talking, so I quit.
Well, that's pleasant.
Recess is over, we're waiting for our county counselor. Once Jonah gets back, we have a person who wants to make public comments, and we'll give him his opportunity to make public comments.
Well, I do.
And we'll wait for the other commissioner, if that's all right.
Oh, you need to. What's he doing, smoking a cigarette? Or do you give that up?
He chews.
Oh,
I don't think he smokes.
not unless he's on fire. Can you chew in here? No? He gets you some spittoons like back in the day.
comes.
Sorry. Yeah, you are somewhere. I got held up by a constituent. Yeah, you're sorry. Peace.
Okay. Brad will be here at 2:15, so we're invited our public comment to
Okay.
make his statement.
You limited to 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to be correct. Testing. So, shoot. Last August I came in here and asked a question that I didn't get an answer to. Instead, I was cut short and told I was in violation, that I owed the county money. And I was summoned to court where the case was dismissed with prejudice. My constitutional rights were violated. This cost me $1,200 for attorney fees. And I don't know what it cost Marion County taxpayers. You guys ain't got a clue. It's a misuse of taxpayer money to prosecute innocent citizens. You did that to me for 2 years. The question that I asked was by what authority did the county have to build these windmills when the conditional use permits had expired? This massive, unnecessary industrial complex has caused the sheer beauty of the Flint Hills to be forever changed and irreparably harmed, never to exist again. So that's what I want to ask you today, is to answer that question. I have the Article 27 here. When we sued you for the main facet of the Eitzen versus Marion County was a protest petition, and the county and I had but anyways, the county gerrymandered the buffer zones on it. They said Randy Eitzen didn't have any property within 1,000 feet, really. And they said I didn't have any standing in this case. So, ended up that I did not take a buyout from them. The other ones did. I stuck it out. It was originally filed by 72 residents of Marion County. Over the course of the appeal, the number dwindled to just one, plaintiff Tom Britton, who's now pro se. So I was pro se on that. And I got transition box for my attorneys and stuff, and I've got all the depositions and stuff. I mean, $80,000 worth. So the thing is the expired conditional use permits. They expired when we sued them. When I got sued for $35 million, that's when the triggered the lawsuit against us, because we didn't prevent Expedition Wind from building. They could have went ahead and built. I mean, they had it April 1st, 2020, and I'll go ahead and read this to you. But we didn't prevent them from we didn't prevent them from building, and that's what triggered that. And which, by the way, we won. I mean, I won. I mean, I was the last one of the bunch. It's at $35 million, and there's what they call a SLAP suit, strategic lawsuit against public participation, KSA 60-5320. And I did win that case. And I won that case. I didn't get any money out of it because everything was so confusing and befuddled, because the judge, I mean, there was no way they can understand how that went. So I'll go ahead and be a little quicker. This Article 27, Section 106, with respect to WEX project prior to December 2016, a construction permit must be applied for the installation of one or more wind turbines on or before April 1st, 2020. If construction cannot be commenced promptly and upon the approval of the construction permit, the applicant may obtain a single one-year extension upon submission of a written report to the zoning administrator setting forth the reasons for delay in the plan for commencing construction within the 1 year period. Now, this was back in 2020, so you give it 1 more year, in which they usually use COVID for an excuse. They switch companies and they, project names and everything. But it was 2 years later, and then you continued to build this. I mean,
Mr. Chairman, I think most of this information has already been settled.
no, well, it hasn't been settled.
And so.
No, that's not between me. I didn't sign anything.
Well, I'm saying, I don't, this is nothing new to me. I think we've all put it in courts, it's all been handled.
No, it hasn't been handled. I haven't been paid yet.
Well, it's not out of our hands. I care to move on.
I'm sure you care to move on.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to them thumping for 24/7 and windmills. I said, I hate it and everybody else hates it. And it doesn't seem to bother you people, but okay. Anyways, I guess that's it. That's all I can do for today. And I guess thank you for your time, but it's not settled. It's not settled whatsoever. Thanks.
All right, I think it'll be 2:15 when Brad gets here, so another 10-minute recess.
Sounds appropriate.
We'll be back at 2:15.
Can we charge Brad back on time?
This conference.
Waited a year and a half to get a concrete floor in the machine shed. Got a quote, accepted. Called Friday morning, we're starting Monday. So I got to move everything out of the shed for the weekend. How much stuff do you accumulate in 20 years?
Oh, yeah, and it's all gotta be out of
And
there.
it's
Every
all
little
out.
nook and cranny,
Everything.
yeah, unless you want it buried under the concrete.
My guy, they were there and they're
Was it there to start today?
Yeah,
Yeah. In pole style buildings, you got the,
it's a Morton building.
you got the batter already down
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
side.
yeah.
They
They
just
just has to scrape
run
all
the
my,
trucks.
yeah, to scrape all my rock out and get down the dirt. Get the
Yeah.
things lined up for the doors. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Do we have to wait till the recess is over tonight?
Nobody left the online meeting.
This is what we would need to do is go into executive for 20 minutes for contract negotiations. We can go ahead and do that. All right. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss contract negotiations pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 2, consultation with an attorney, attorney-client privilege with the commission, Kurt, Brad, Tina, for 20 minutes. That'd be from 2:09 to 2:29.
second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We will be back at 2:29.
Every day?
He likes to make
This
bubbles.
conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session, no action taken. We need to have a short one on, it's
current litigation.
current litigation. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss current litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege with the commission, Brad and Tina, for 5 minutes, 2:30 to 2:35.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0, back at 2:35. I thought we were wrapped up.
Sorry.
It's all right.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are out of executive session, no actions taken. We would like to go back in for a 10-minute executive session on contract negotiations. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss contract negotiations pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege, Commission Brad, Tina.
It will not, does not have to have Tina on this one.
Okay. Commissioner Brad for 10 minutes from 2:36 to 2:46.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Back at 2:46. I've heard horror stories.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, out of executive session, no action taken. One more, right? I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss potential litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege with Commission Brad and Tina, 15 minutes, 2:48, 3:03? 3:03.
But yeah, it doesn't.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Becker, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0, back at 3:02 for adjournment. Hopeful.
3:03.
3:03.
Oh, yeah. That was just an individual.
conference will now be recorded.
This is a question, but it's really more of a suggestion.
Well, very well. I appreciate
We're
it.
back.
We are out of executive session, no decisions made. But I do have a question. If we change our meeting date and time, when would we do that, or can we do that at any time
You can do it really at any time.
with a resolution?
You can do it by resolution.
Okay.
What is it, to meet once a week?
We're still required to be once a week, though.
Yeah, but we set a day and time, regular date and time. Okay, something to consider. Anything else? If not, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. We are adjourned, 5-0. We do have a special meeting Friday, starting at 9 o'clock.
9.